Hi children, welcome to today's class. In the previous class we have discussed about the stoichiometry calculations, that is the amount of reactants and product we can calculate from the balanced equation. But in normal case most of the reactions are carrying out in solutions. That means if the reactants are in the solid state, the speed of the reaction will be very slow. The rate of the reaction will be very slow. So in order to carry out these reactions, we are preparing the solutions of these reactants in water. Solutions of reactants in water is prepared. That is known as aqueous solution. The solution of reactants or any chemical substance in water is known as it's a aqueous solution. So the reactants are made into aqueous solution by dissolving in water, and these solutions we are mixing to carry out the reactions, isn't it? When we are dissolving the reactant in water, we will get the solution. Okay, so solution means it is a mixture of that reactant in water. So a solution contains two parts. Which are the two parts, or with two constituents? Which are the two constituents of the solution? That is the reactant, that is chemical substance, and water, isn't it? So the reactant which is present in a smaller quantity, that is known as the solute. Okay, so if we are making a solution, we are dissolving that chemical substance in water. So that chemical substance is present in smaller amount, so that is known as the solute. And the substance which is present in larger quantity, that is known as the solvent. So when we are making the aqueous solution, water is acting as the solvent and that chemical substance will acting as the solute. So a solution means it contains a mixture of two or more different constituents, and the constituent which is present in smaller quantity, that is known as the solute. Smaller quantity is known as solute, and the constituent which is present in larger quantity, that is known as the solvent. Okay. So in the form of the solutions, the various reactions are carried out. Now the amount of solute dissolved in a solution, that is expressed in different ways, that is known as the concentration of the solution. The amount of solute dissolved in a solution, that is known as concentration of that solution. That is known as the concentration of a solution. To express the concentration of a solution, different methods are there. The first method is mass percentage. And the second method is known as mole fraction. And the third method is known as molality. And the fourth one is known as molarity. Okay. So these are the different methods we have to study to express the concentration of a solution. What is concentration? Concentration means the amount of solute dissolved in a solution. How much amount of solute is dissolved in a solution, that is known as the concentration of that solution. To express the concentration, we are using different methods. These are the different methods. Okay. Now we can study meant by these different terms. Okay. The first method to express the concentration of a solute is mass percentage. Already we know how can we calculate the percentage, isn't it? So mass percentage means we are calculating the percentage of mass. Okay. Suppose we are having a solution of two components A and B, where A is the solute and B is the solvent. So how can we calculate the mass percentage of the solute? So percentage of the solute A will be equal to mass of A divided by total mass into 100. Already we know that how to calculate the percentage, isn't it? So here the percentage of the solute we are calculating, that is equal to the mass of that solute divided by total mass into 100. That is the formula to calculate the mass percentage. Okay. Now how can we define this mass percentage? It is the amount of solute in grams present in 100 gram of the solvent. How much amount of solute is present in 100 gram of the solvent, that is known as the percentage of solute. Okay. Now suppose the mass of A, that is mass of the solute, is equal to WA and mass of the solvent B is equal to WB. So what will be the mass percentage? Mass percentage of the solute A will be equal to its mass, that is mass of the solute WA divided by total mass. Total mass means mass of A plus mass of B, that is equal to WA plus WB. So the mass percentage of the solute will be equal to mass of the solute divided by total mass into 100. This is the formula to calculate the mass percentage of the solute. I think it is clear for all of you. Now the second method to express the concentration is mole fraction. From the word itself we can tell what is it is. It is a fraction or it is a ratio. It is the ratio of number of moles. Okay, so that mole fraction can be defined as the ratio of number of moles of a particular component to the total number of moles of the solution. Ratio of number of moles of a particular component to the total number of moles, that is known as mole fraction. Again, we can consider the solution which contain two components A and B, where A is the solute and B is the solvent. And consider the number of moles of A is Na and the number of moles of B is Nb. Okay, so what will be the mole fraction of A? Mole fraction, we know that it is the ratio of number of moles of that component to the total number of moles, isn't it? So total number of moles means number of moles of A plus number of moles of B, that is known as total number of moles. So mole fraction of A will be equal to number of moles of A divided by total number of moles, that is Na plus Nb. Mole fraction of A is equal to number of moles of A, that is Na, divided by total number of moles, that is Na plus Nb. Okay. Now what will be the mole fraction of B? Mole fraction of B is equal to the number of moles of B divided by total number of moles, that is Nb divided by Na plus Nb. So this is mole fraction. That is the second method to express the concentration. Mole fraction is the ratio of number of moles of that component to the total number of moles. Now the third method is known as molality. It is the number of moles of solute present in 1 kilogram of solvent. So how many number of moles of solute is present in 1 kilogram of the solvent, that is known as its molality. And it is represented by small letter m. Molality is represented by small letter m. So molality m is equal to number of moles of solute divided by mass of solvent in kilogram. Okay, this is the formula to calculate the molality. Number of moles of solute divided by mass of solvent in kilogram. Now, if we are representing the number of moles by n and mass by W, how can we write molality m is equal to n by W? So what will be its unit? Number of moles, the unit we know moles, isn't it? And mass, the unit is kilogram. So what will be the unit of molality? Moles per kilogram. Moles per kilogram. Moles kg raised to -1. This is known as the unit. This is the unit of molality and it is also represented by small letter m. Okay. Molality can also be represented by small letter m. Now the last method to represent the concentration of the solution is molarity. It is defined as the number of moles of solute present in 1 liter of the solution. How many moles of solute are present in 1 liter of the solution, that is known as its molarity, and it is represented by capital letter M. So molarity is equal to number of moles of solute divided by volume of solution in liters. And what will be its unit? Number of moles unit, we know that moles, and the volume, the unit is liter. So its unit will be moles per liter and it is also represented by capital letter M. So molarity is represented by capital letter M and it is defined as the number of moles of the solute present in 1 liter of the solution. Okay. So these are the different ways to express the concentration of the solution. One more method is there that is not given in the textbook. Still we can study that also. Okay. The next method, that is this is the most commonly used method to express the concentration, that is known as normality. Okay, so before studying about normality, we have to study some terms, that is basicity of an acid and acidity of a base. So basicity of an acid means it is the number of replaceable H plus ion present in one molecule of that acid. That is known as the basicity of that acid. For example, in the case of hydrochloric acid, it can produce 1 H plus ion, so its basicity can be written as 1. And for H2SO4, it can produce 2 H plus ions, so its basicity can be written as 2. Like that, H3PO4, it can produce 3 H plus ions, so its basicity can be written as 3. So like this, the number of replaceable H plus ion present in one molecule of that acid, that is known as its basicity. Okay. Now like that, in the case of bases, we can tell its acidity of a base. That means the number of replaceable OH minus ions present in one molecule of that base. Number of replaceable OH minus ions present in one molecule of that base, that is known as its acidity. For example, in the case of NaOH, only one OH group is there, so its acidity can be 1. Then in magnesium hydroxide, MgOH twice, 2 OH groups are there, so it can produce 2 OH minus ions, so its acidity can be written as 2. Then aluminium hydroxide, AlOH thrice, it can produce 3 OH minus ions, so its acidity can be written as 3. So like this, the number of replaceable OH minus ions present in one molecule of that base, that is known as its acidity. Okay. Now, if we know the basicity of an acid, we can calculate its equivalent mass. Equivalent mass of an acid is equal to its molecular mass divided by its basicity. For example, the equivalent mass of HCl. How can we calculate that? The molecular mass of HCl, that is equal to 1 plus 35.5. That is the molecular mass divided by what is the basicity? Number of H plus ions replaceable, that is 1. Okay, that is equal to 36.5 divided by 1, that is equal to 36.5 itself. This is the equivalent mass of HCl. Okay. In the case of H2SO4, its equivalent mass of H2SO4 is equal to its molecular mass, that is 98, divided by basicity, means 2 hydrogen atoms are there. So 98 divided by 2, that is equal to 49. Okay. So this is the equivalent mass of H2SO4. So like this, we can calculate the equivalent mass of these acids. Okay. Now like that, in the case of bases, the equivalent mass will be equal to, in the case of bases, the equivalent mass can be calculated using the formula its molecular mass divided by acidity. Okay, that means the number of OH minus. For example, in the case of NaOH, it is a base, so its equivalent mass will be equal to its molecular mass, that is 40, divided by its acidity. It contains only one OH group, so acidity will be 1, that is equal to 40. Okay, so this is the equivalent mass of sodium hydroxide, that is NaOH. So this is the way to calculate the equivalent mass. Got that, all of you? Then in the case of a salt, if it is not acidic or not basic, that is known as a salt, isn't it? Salts are produced from the combination between an acid and a base. So in the case of salt, the equivalent mass is equal to molecular mass divided by total positive valency of its metal atoms. For example, in the case of NaCl, NaCl is a salt, so its equivalent mass will be equal to the molecular mass, that is equal to its molecular mass, that is 58.5 divided by total positive valence of the metal atom. Here the metal atom is first one, that is sodium, and what is its charge, what is its valency? +1. Okay, so that is equal to 58.5 itself. This is the equivalent mass of the salt sodium chloride. Okay, then for calcium chloride, CaCl2, what will be its mass? Then another example, CaCl2, calcium chloride, its molecular mass, equivalent mass will be equal to its molecular mass divided by the positive charge on the metal atom. So its molecular mass is equal to 111. Okay, 111 is the molecular mass divided by the positive charge on the metal atom. This is the metal atom, and what is the positive charge? +2. Okay, so 111 divided by +2, that is equal to 55.5. This is the equivalent mass of calcium chloride. Got that? So this is the way to calculate the equivalent masses of acids, bases and salts. I think it is clear for all of you. Now we can go to the normality. What is normality? Normality is defined as the number of gram equivalents of solute present in 1 liter of the solution. So how many gram equivalents of solute present in 1 liter of the solution, that is known as the normality of that solution, and it is represented by capital letter N. Okay, now what is this gram equivalents? Gram equivalents is equal to, as we have studied, number of moles. Gram equivalents is equal to molecular mass of the solute, that is given mass we have studied now, like that mass of solute divided by equivalent mass. Equivalent mass, that is known as gram equivalents. Mass of the solute divided by equivalent mass will give the number of gram equivalents, and that number of gram equivalents per liter of the solution, that is known as normality. Okay, and it is represented by capital letter N. So this is the another term used to express the concentration of the solutions.